Of the 9 people here preparing for today's show, only one will win up to £10,000. The others will leave with nothing. Why? Because one by one, they'll be voted off. The weakest link.
Welcome to the weakest link. Any of the 9 people in the studio here today could win up to £10,000. They don't know each other, however. If they want the prize money, they'll have to work as a team. But 8 of them will leave with nothing. As round by round, we lose the player, voted the weakest link. Let's meet the team.
My name is Gordon. I'm a 62-year-old security officer from Maidenhead in Berkshire.
My name is Scott. I'm a 30-year-old civil servant from near Glasgow.
I'm Caroline, 31, a library manager from Reading.
I'm Danny, 51 years old, mechanical shift charge engineer from Polesworth in Warwickshire.
I'm Sheila, I'm 40 several. I'm an insurance rep and part-time barmaid, and I come from Cornwall.
I'm Charles, 55 years old, kitchen surveyor from Nottingham.
I'm Christine, a housing benefit assessor, and I'm from York.
I'm Kim, I'm 26, a doctor from Manchester.
I'm Colin, I'm 40, I'm a factory worker from Harvington near Evesham.
Now, the rules. In each round, the aim is to answer enough questions correctly to reach your £1,000 target within the time limit. The fastest way is to create a chain of 9 correct answers. Get your question wrong and you break the chain and lose all the money in that chain. But if you say bank before the question is asked, the money is safe. However, you start a new chain from scratch. Remember, at the end of the round, only money that has been banked can be taken forward. You get 3 minutes in round 1. We'll start with the person whose name is first alphabetically. That's you, Caroline. Let's play the weakest link. The first question is for £20. Start the clock. Caroline, in tennis, is Serena or Venus Williams the eldest sister?
Venus.
Correct. Danny. What V is the term for a thin sheet of fine wood applied to less expensive material?
Veneer.
Correct. Sheila. In human biology, which vitamin plays an important role in building up calcium in the body?
D.
Correct. Charles. In science, which element was named after the Greek goddess of the rainbow, iridium or platinum?
Platinum.
Iridium. Christine, which political party did American President Ronald Reagan belong to?
Republican.
Correct. Kim, the town of Chantilly can be found in which European country?
France.
Correct. Colin.
Bank it.
Complete the title of this Shakespeare play, The Merry Wives of what?
Windsor.
Correct. Gordon, what word can go before man, teeth and float?
Pass.
Milk. Scott, complete the full title of this Andrew Lloyd Webber musical, Joseph and the what?
The Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Correct. Caroline, in mythology, which P is said to have slain the Gorgon called Medusa?
Perseus.
Correct. Danny, a yellow hammer is a variety of which type of animal?
Bird.
Correct. Sheila, who played the talented Mr. Ripley in this year's Oscar-nominated film?
I don't know.
Matt Damon. Charles, which American inventor said genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration?
Einstein.
Edison. Christine, in food, orange, pekoe, lapsang, souchong and oolong are all varieties of what?
Tea.
Correct. Kim, which country won football's Euro 2000 final in Holland this year?
France.
Correct. Colin, how many years are celebrated on a golden wedding anniversary?
50.
Correct. Gordon.
Bank.
Anaconda snakes are native to which continent?
Africa.
South America. Scott, in the military, what does APC stand for?
Don't know.
Armoured Personnel Carrier. Caroline, which new piece of London architecture was forced to close this year just 2 days after it opened?
The Millennium Bridge.
Correct. Danny, in which year during the 1920s did the Wall Street crash occur?
1926.
1929. Sheila, Buzz Lightyear and Woody are the stars of which animated film series?
Toy Story.
Correct. Charles. If carnivorous describes a meat-eating animal, which word describes an animal which eats grass or vegetation?
Omnivore.
Herbivorous. Christine, how many are there in a baker's dozen?
13.
Correct. Kim, in July this year, who won the chance to host the 2006 Football World Cup?
Germany.
Correct. Colin?
Bankit.
Are the Hebrides on the west or east coast of Scotland?
West.
Correct. Gordon? Time's up. £400 banked. Your £1,000 target missed. Whose fault is that? One of you is about to leave with nothing. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
Statistically, the first weakest link of the game is Charles, because he got the most wrong answers. The strongest link is Colin, who answered 3 questions correctly and banked money for the team. But how will the votes go?
Pens down, voting over. It's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Charles.
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 Gordon.
Gordon.
Charles.
Charles.
Danny, why Charles?
I think he had 3 wrong in the run, which, look at the draw, but there you go. Somebody's got to go.
Nice. Sheila, why Charles?
He didn't bank any money.
He did, actually. He banked £100.
Oh, did he? Oh, sorry, I missed that one then.
Yes. In fact, the weakest link was Charles. 7 votes, Charles. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
If I had won the money, my wife and I were hoping to go to America this year to see 2 grandchildren that we've never seen. The person who should go next should be Gordon, on the experience of the previous round, because he, like me, hasn't got a question like that.
Round 2, and you won £400 of the possible 1,000 you could have won in that first round. 8 of you left. We are now taking 10 seconds off the clock. We start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Colin. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Colin, which TV star had the catchphrase, "Ooh, you are awful, but I like you"?
Dick Henry.
Correct. Gordon, does the Tropic of Capricorn lie above or below the equator?
Below.
Correct. Scott, in which Hampshire city is Alfred the Great buried?
Winchester.
Correct.
Bank.
Caroline, in the animal kingdom, what insects transmit malaria?
Mosquitoes.
Correct. Danny, which EastEnders actress received an MBE from the Queen in July this year?
Barbara Windsor.
Correct. Sheila, inventor Charles Babbage is renowned for conceiving what electronic device?
Computer.
Correct.
Bang.
Christine, is a mare a male or female horse?
Female.
Correct. Kim, in May this year, who won the London mayoral elections?
Pass.
Ken Livingstone. Colin, in horse racing, which jockey rode into the record books after winning every race on the card at Ascot in September 1996?
Frankie Dettori.
Correct. Gordon, complete the title of this unfinished novel by Charles Dickens, The Mystery of Edwin who?
Drood.
Correct. Scott, in which card game are a full house and royal flush very strong hands?
Poker.
Correct. Caroline, in pop music, which Beatle said we're more popular than Jesus?
John Lennon.
Correct.
Bank.
Danny, in
Bank.
gardening, what is a maiden?
Gardening. Don't know.
A tree. Sheila, in what country would you be if you bought something with a guilder?
Holland.
Correct. Christine, what artist was famous for painting sunflowers?
Van Gogh.
Correct. Kim, in mythology, which Greek god was part man, part goat and played a reed pipe?
Pass.
Pan. Colin, Spice Girl Mel C had a hit single singing a duet with which Canadian singer?
Bruce Springsteen.
Bryan Adams. Gordon, in the human body, what is your cranium?
The skull.
Correct. Scott, in which decade did Great Britain last host the Olympics?
40s.
Correct.
Bank.
Caroline, Ferdinand Marcos presided over which country from 1965 to 1986?
The Philippines.
Correct, Danny. In nature, does watercress belong to the daisy or the cabbage family of plants?
Daisy.
Cabbage. Sheila. Jimmy Hill is a leading television pundit on which sport?
Football.
Correct. Christine.
Bank.
At the end of which children's story does the hero become Lord Mayor of London?
Dick Whittington.
Correct. Kim. In music, what was the first name of the German composer Bach, who was born in 1685?
Edward.
Johann. Colin. In fashion, what are breeches?
Trousers.
Correct. Gordon.
Bank.
Which of the Queen's country residences lies on... Time up. I cannot complete the question. Well banked. And in that round, you won £490 of a possible 1,000. One of you is about to leave with nothing. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
The strongest team member is Caroline. The statistics show that she answered all her questions correctly and banked money for the team. Kim is the weakest link. She didn't get a single answer right. But will the team have noticed that?
Pens down, voting over. It's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Kim.
Kim.
Christine.
Kim.
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 Danny.
Danny.
Gordon, you've woken up.
Only just.
Yeah. Why Kim?
Well, she missed 3 questions and a banking, and then we've got the advantage of having a doctor waiting for us as we come out.
Right. Will you need the doctor, Gordon?
Very soon, I should think.
Kim, have you been too busy saving lives to read any newspapers or watch any television?
I think so.
Right.
Definitely. My head's a sieve today.
You didn't know who Ken Livingstone was?
No, I did.
OK. With 5 votes, Kim, the team have voted you the weakest link. Goodbye.
Bye. I'm most embarrassed about not getting the Ken Livingstone question correct. My sister will kill me for not getting that right. She's a real Livingstone supporter and she'll not be speaking to me after this programme. Very embarrassed. I think the next person that should go is Danny. He's the most obvious weakest link in the group that are left. He hesitates and he's got several questions incorrect.
Round 3, you've won a total of £890 so far. If all your chairs had been aboard, of course, you could have won by now £2,000. You are down to 7 players. We are taking another 10 seconds off the clock. We start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Caroline. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Caroline, in history, was France ever ruled by Napoleon II?
No.
Correct. Danny, name one of the 2 months in which Easter Day can fall in Britain.
April.
Correct. Sheila, which Irvine Welsh novel was adapted into a film starring Ewan McGregor?
I don't know.
Trainspotting. Christine, what part of the human body would suffer from a cataract?
Eye.
Correct. Colin, in which American city is the White House?
Washington.
Correct. Gordon,
Bank.
in which series of children's novels would you find Hogwarts School?
Pass.
Harry Potter. Scott, which British king was the illegitimate son of Duke Robert I of Normandy?
King William.
Correct. Caroline, which river springs from near Lake Haska in Minnesota and runs 2,348 miles to the Gulf of Mexico?
Mississippi?
Correct. Danny, according to British custom, scratching the legs with holly was supposed to ward off what?
Evil spirits.
Fever. Sheila,
Bank.
name the world's biggest coral reef situated in Australia.
The Great Barrier Reef.
Correct. Christine, which movie actor and star of the TV show Spin City recently retired due to the onset of Parkinson's disease?
Michael J. Fox.
Correct. Colin, which political party was founded in March 1992 to spread the ideas of the Maharishi Mahesh Yogi?
Pass.
Natural Law Party. Gordon, in history, what fatal epidemic known as the Black Death hit Europe in 1347?
Smallpox.
Bubonic plague. Scott, apart from being a goody, Bill Oddie is famous for his interest in which type of animal?
Birds.
Correct. Caroline, What maritime measurement of speed is equal to 1.5 miles per hour?
Knot.
Correct. Danny, which rock and roll singer had Colonel Tom Parker as his manager?
Elvis.
Correct.
Bank.
Sheila, which course considered the home of golf hosted this year's British Open Championship?
St Andrews.
Correct. Christine, which English writer penned the song Mad Dogs and Englishmen?
Noel Coward.
Correct. Colin, what was responsible for the destruction of 28,000 buildings in San Francisco in 1906?
Earthquake.
Correct. Gordon,
Bank.
the Home Service became which radio station in 1967?
Radio 4.
Correct. Scott,
Bank.
in nature, what colour is the blossom of the olive tree?
Purple.
White. Caroline, which sea is a series of questions and answers teaching Christian beliefs?
Pass.
Catechism. Danny, which actor is the star of the films Beetlejuice and Batman?
Michael. Pass.
Michael Keaton. Time's up, and in that round, you banked only £270 out of a possible 1,000. Who are you dying to get rid of? One of you is about to leave with nothing. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
The statistics indicate that Gordon is the weakest link because he answered the fewest questions correctly, although he did bank £150 for the team. Could this save him from being voted off?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Danny.
Gordon.
Danny.
Gordon.
Danny.
Gordon.
Gordon.
Right. Colin, why Gordon?
He missed the start-off question and got us off to a bad start, and I thought he banked too early.
Right. You did bank, Colin. Gordon, it all went downhill.
It did.
Right.
Slower than Danny.
Yeah. So, you got your wish. You can join the doctor. With 4 votes, Gordon, the team have voted you the weakest link. Goodbye.
If I'd won the money, I've just moved into a new flat in Maidenhead and it would have gone to making that look a little bit better than it already is. I think on performance so far, the person that will go next, or should go next, is Danny. He has been a little bit on the slow side in answering questions and banking, and I think he's next for the job.
Round 4, and you've won £1,160 so far out of potential prize money of £3,000. There are 6 of you left. We are taking another 10 seconds off the clock. You now have only 2.5 minutes. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Christine. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Christine, what S is an icicle-shaped mass of calcium carbonate attached to the roof of a limestone cavern?
Stalactite.
Correct. Colin, which Ashes-winning cricketer of the 1980s also played professional football for Scunthorpe?
Ian Botham.
Correct. Scott, what type of clay pottery takes its name from the Italian word meaning baked earth?
Capodimonte.
Terracotta. Caroline, in which English city was the actor Hugh Grant born?
Don't know.
London. Danny, in which London park would you find the Serpentine?
Hyde Park.
Correct. Sheila, the food additive monosodium glutamate is often abbreviated to what?
MS. No.
MSG. Christine, in what country was William Burroughs, author of the novel The Naked Lunch, born?
Ireland.
United States. Colin, in the year 878, Alfred the Great's army defeated which group of Nordic warriors?
Pass.
The Danes. Scott, what does a lepidopterist study and collect?
Butterflies.
Correct. Caroline, which author wrote the children's book The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe?
C.S. Lewis.
Correct. Danny, which northern African country was bombed by American jets in April 1986?
Libya.
Correct. Sheila, what was the name of the last British woman to be hanged?
Ruth Ellis.
Correct. Christine, What G is the name given to the study of people's handwriting to determine their character?
Graphology.
Correct. Colin.
Bank.
The notorious Test cricket series between England and Australia of 1932 to 1933 is better known by which name?
Bodyline.
Correct. Scott, if you were at Saxter International Airport in Montego Bay, in what country would you be?
Jamaica.
Correct. Caroline, which actor played the young Zorro in the 1998 film The Mask of Zorro?
Anthony Hopkins.
Antonio Banderas. Danny, in which county is the seaside town of Whitby?
New Yorkshire.
Correct. Sheila, the vanilla plant is a member of which plant family? The violet, the orchid or the lily?
Orchid.
Correct. Christine?
Bank.
What is the most frequently used letter in the English language?
E.
Correct. Colin?
Bank.
Which American TV show featured the characters Radar O'Reilly and Hot Lips Houlihan?
MASH.
Correct. Scott?
Bank.
Time's up, you banked just in time, and in that round your total was £240. Who do you want to get rid of? Who has outstayed their welcome and who, frankly, is not up to the job? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
Danny is the strongest link statistically. He didn't give a single wrong answer. Caroline is the weakest link as she got the most questions wrong. But will the votes follow the facts?
Voting over, please reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Caroline.
Danny.
Caroline.
Danny.
Caroline.
Danny.
We have a tie team. Caroline and Danny, 3 votes each. Sheila, why Danny?
Well, I tried to get rid of him last time, but he's still here, so...
Irritating you, is he?
He's bigger than me.
Bigger than most of us. Scott, what's Caroline done to upset you?
I think she got one wrong, but the money was quite high. So it's a difficult one, but you still got it wrong.
Okay. Well, when the vote is tied, the strongest link has to cast the deciding vote. Danny, you were the strongest link. Would you rather get rid of Caroline or yourself, bearing in mind that you can't vote for yourself? Can you work that one out, Danny?
Even for a prop forward, Caroline.
Even for a prop forward, Caroline. Okay. Caroline, Danny wants you to go. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
In the next round, the competitive element in me wants Danny to be voted off, but I think Sheila should be next because she's not as strong as some of the others.
Round 5. There's £1,400 in the bank. If you'd hit your targets, that figure would be £4,000. 5 of you left, another 10 seconds coming off the time. We start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Danny. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Danny, the West End play Les Miserables is based on a novel by which French author?
Victor Hugo.
Correct. Sheila, which DJ and presenter promoted seatbelt awareness with the slogan clunk click every trip?
Jimmy Savile.
Correct. Christine, brothers Joe and Fred Davis were leading players in 2 sports. Name one of them.
Snooker.
Correct. Colin.
Bank it.
Sodium is one of the elements in common salt. Which is the other?
Pass.
Chlorine. Scott, of which country was Golda Meir once Prime Minister?
Israel.
Correct. Danny, in biology, rubella is the medical word for what disease?
German measles.
Correct. Sheila, what F is the word used to describe a food dish that has been covered with alcohol and set alight?
Flambe.
Correct. Christine, who retraced the fictional explorer Phileas Fogg's journey in the TV documentary series Around the World in 80 Days?
Michael Palin.
Correct.
Bank
Colin,
it.
in the human body, which bone is the mandible more commonly known as?
Knee bone.
Jawbone. Scott, which author created the literary character Bilbo Baggins?
Dickens.
Tolkien. Danny, in nature, what is the only venomous snake found in the wild in Britain?
Adder.
Correct. Sheila, Which Renaissance artist completed the statue of the biblical hero David in 1504?
Michelangelo.
Correct. Christine, what name did the Romans give to the king of their gods?
Zeus.
Jupiter. Colin, what range of hills is known as the backbone of England?
Malverns.
Pennines. Scott, in finance, what does the P stand for in the initials APR?
Percentage.
Correct. Danny, what was built on the site of the Battle of Hastings by King William I?
I don't know.
Battle Abbey. Sheila.
Bank.
In politics, which former headmaster noted for his mutton chop sideboards became an education minister under Mrs Thatcher in 1979?
Rhodes Boyson.
Correct. Christine.
Bank.
In food, what is the main ingredient of black pudding?
Blood.
Correct. Pig's blood. Colin.
Bank.
The Bering Strait separates the Russian Federation from which American state? Time is up. The answer is Alaska. And this time, team, you won £340. But who doesn't convince you they should remain playing any longer? One of you is about to leave with nothing. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
The weakest link in this round is Colin, with no questions answered correctly. Sheila is the strongest link. The statistics show that she was the only person not to get a question wrong. But will the team be aware of this?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Danny.
Colin.
Christine.
Colin.
Danny.
We have a tie, again. Danny and Colin, 2 votes each. Danny, why Colin?
He missed on 3. And he's also quite good, so if I did get through to the end and got him head to head, I was best out the way.
Oh, right. You're a coward.
Not really, no, I just edged me bets.
Colin.
Yes.
Why Danny?
He's been poor in some of the other rounds. He didn't have a bad round, but I personally was concentrating on banking as well as getting on the questions. I just thought...
Did you think of concentrating on getting the questions answered correctly?
I struggled on that, I'm sorry to say.
You didn't succeed once, did you?
No, but I did bank a lot.
The strongest link has to cast the deciding vote. Sheila, who would you rather went?
I'm sorry, Danny.
Danny? Sheila wants you out. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Possibly the next round, perhaps if Colin has another bad round, then he should be the one to go. I felt he was lucky in the last round to still be in there.
Round 6, and you've won £1,740. You could have won £5,000 by now. 4 of you left. We are cutting another 10 seconds from your time. We start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Sheila. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Sheila, what is the English name for the game Americans call tic-tac-toe?
Noughts and crosses.
Correct. Christine, in astronomy, how is the constellation Ursa Major better known?
The Great Bear.
Correct. Colin, which ancient civilization believed their dead went to Duat?
Muslims.
Egyptian. Scott, what type of vehicle was the ill-fated Hindenburg?
It was an airship.
Correct. Sheila, in which century was Buckingham Palace built?
The 18th.
Correct. Christine.
Bank.
Which sign of the zodiac falls between February the 19th and March the 20th?
Aries.
Pisces. Colin, in nature, what is the name given to a community of ants?
Hive? No, it's
A colony. Scott, Going Straight was the sequel to which classic TV comedy series?
Porridge.
Correct. Sheila, in medicine, shingles is caused by the same virus as what other disease?
Herpes.
Chickenpox. Christine.
Bank.
In 1987, film Personal Services was based on the life of which notorious madame?
Cynthia Baker.
Cynthia Payne. Colin, what name is given to the sources of energy found in the Earth's crust?
Core.
Fossil fuels. Scott, in sport, who was appointed England's first full-time rugby union coach in September 1997?
I don't know.
Clive Woodward. Sheila, the Grand Union Canal was built to link London and which northwestern city?
Manchester.
Liverpool. Christine, in the Bible, which apostle was replaced by Matthias?
Pass.
Judas Iscariot. Colin, in which film does Jim Carrey play a lawyer who can't stop telling the truth?
Liar, liar.
Correct. Scott.
Bank.
A merino is a breed of which animal?
Sheep.
Correct. Sheila, the film My Fair Lady is based on which George Bernard Shaw play?
Pygmalion.
Correct. Christine,
Bank.
the last Prince of Wales before Prince Charles went on to become which king?
Edward VIII.
Correct. Colin,
Bank.
in the Disney films, what type of car was Herbie the Lover? I cannot complete the question because your time was up, and in that round you won only £140. Who is costing you money and needs to go home? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
For the second time, Colin is the weakest link, while Scott is the strongest link. He got the least questions wrong, although Christine banked the most money for the team. But will the votes reflect these statistics?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Colin.
Colin.
Sheila.
Christine.
Right. Let me tell you, team, that you got 6 questions wrong in a row, and the idea is, as you vote off the weakest links, you get better, not worse. Sheila, you reprieved Colin last time. Why have you changed your mind?
Because he said when we were talking that he's very pleased to have got this far and didn't mind if he went out now, so
Right.
I didn't know who to
That
pick.
was a very unwise thing for him to say. Scott!
It's all on a knife edge and Colin got a few wrong.
Right. Are you surprised still to be here?
Yes.
Colin,
Yes.
they've taken you at your word.
I didn't mean it.
Too late, Colin. With 2 votes, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Scott was very weak on sports questions, rugby, football. There was one particular rugby question. Couldn't believe he got it wrong. It was Clive Woodward. Why didn't he just say it? I think the team should get rid of Scott. I think they'll make more money. The 2 left would bump up the money a lot more without him.
Round 7, and you've banked £1,880 of the 6,000 on offer. 3 of you are left. Another 10 seconds is coming off the clock. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Scott. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Scott, in the animal kingdom, there are 2 species of panda. One is the giant panda. What is the other?
The red panda.
Correct. Sheila, if you were a pyromaniac, what would you have an unnatural fascination with?
Fire.
Correct. Christine, Midge and Bob Geldof co-wrote which song to promote the Band-Aid charity appeal?
Do They Know It's Christmas?
Correct. Scott, actress Leslie Ash is married to which ex-Leeds United footballer?
Gary Mabbutt.
Lee Chapman. Sheila, who was the original host of the TV series Call My Bluff in 1967?
Dennis Norden.
Robin Ray. Christine, which entrepreneur's autobiography is called Losing My Virginity?
Richard Branson.
Correct. Scott, in maths, what is 9 times 8?
72.
Correct. Sheila, in what decade was the first minicar made?
60s.
50s. Christine, from which Middle Eastern country does the breed of dog the greyhound originate?
Saudi Arabia.
Egypt. Scott, which former radio DJ referred to his listeners as pop pickers?
Alan Freeman.
Correct. Sheila, in science, what substance is subjected to a process known as vulcanization in order to increase its strength and elasticity?
Steel.
Rubber. Christine, in the children's TV series, what was the name of the Lone Ranger's horse?
Tonto.
Silver. Scott, who was a famous wife of Argentinian President Juan Perón?
Eva Perón.
Correct. Sheila.
Bank.
2 US states are not attached directly to the other 48. Alaska is one. What is the other?
Hawaii.
Correct. Christine.
Bank.
How was the soldier and author T. Lawrence better known?
Lawrence of Arabia.
Correct. Scott. Which British politician had the nickname the Beast of Bolsover?
Dennis Skinner.
Correct. Sheila.
Bank.
Time up and well banked, but you only banked in total a sad £90 in that round. Now in round 8 you get the chance to treble what you banked. That means in the next round there is £3,000 to be won. The question is, who's not worth their place? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
At this important stage of the game, Scott is the strongest link once more. Sheila is the weakest link because she got the most wrong answers. But who will be rejected from the team?
Pens down, voting over. It's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Sheila.
Christine.
Sheila.
Christine, why Sheila?
Don't think she banked any money, not that there was a lot to bank, and she missed a few questions.
Talking about missing questions, when it came to the Lone Ranger, you got your silvers and your tontos muddled up.
I know, I did.
Sheila, of the other two, why Christine?
Because I knew I was going to be voted off anyway, so it didn't really make any
Okay,
difference.
well, you got that right, Sheila. With 2 votes, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
When we were down to the last 4, I was beginning to think I was going to be lucky enough to get through to the final. My general knowledge is fairly varied, and I thought I was in with a chance. And then it all went pear-shaped on the following round when I got 3 questions wrong on the trot. And I knew the answers.
Round 8, and you've got £1,970 in the bank. You could have had 7,000. Scott and Christine, just the 2 of you left, and this time you have only 90 seconds. But whatever you win in this round will be trebled and added to your total to make up your final prize money. So, £3,000 is at stake in this round. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Scott. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Scott, in the Winnie the Pooh children's stories, what are elephants called?
Effalumps.
Correct. Christine, which county in England houses a vast tropical garden known as the Eden Project?
Kent.
Cornwall. Scott, which Roman emperor was said to have made his horse a consul?
Caligula.
Correct. Christine, the Leaning Tower of Pisa was built for what purpose?
No idea.
A bell tower for a church. Scott, which European country was led by Enver Hoxha from 1946 to 1985?
Romania.
Albania. Christine, was the work of the French painter Gauguin inspired by his travel to Tahiti or Thailand in 1891?
Tahiti.
Correct. Scott, in sport, Arsene Wenger is the manager of which Premier football team?
Arsenal.
Correct. Christine,
Bang.
which US city is served by O'Hare Airport?
New York.
Chicago. Scott, which country produces most of the world's maple syrup?
Canada.
Correct. Christine, which
Bang.
French monument has 1,710 steps?
The Eiffel Tower.
Correct. Scott, in literature, which occupation was shared by the Bronte characters Agnes Grey and Jane Eyre?
Nurses.
Governess. Christine, which religious sect is named after Jacob Aman?
Mormons.
Amish. Scott, which of the 7 wonders of the... Time up, and I cannot complete the question. And between you in that round, you won £70. Never mind, we'll treble that and add it to the winnings from the previous rounds. That means prize money today of £2,180. But Only one of you could take that money away. You will now play against each other head to head. I'll ask alternate questions, best of 5. Whoever answers the most correctly wins. It's as simple as that. If there's a tie after 5, we'll go for sudden death until we have a winner. So, Scott and Christine, for £2,180, let's play the weakest link. Scott, as the strongest link in the last round, you have the choice of who goes first.
I'll go first.
Scott, what word disappeared from the names of British coins minted after 1982?
Decimus.
New. Christine, apart from Anne, give one of the Princess Royal's Christian names.
Elizabeth.
Correct. Scott, how many yards are there in a mile?
224.
1,760. Christine, what name did Wilhelm Röntgen give to the rays he discovered in 1895 because he didn't know what they were?
Sonic rays.
X-rays. Scott, the ancient Minoan civilization was based on which Greek island?
Crete.
That is the correct answer. Christine, on the washing instructions on an item of clothing, what does a crossed out triangle mean?
Do not dry clean.
Do not bleach. Scott, in the MMR vaccine, what do the 2 M's stand for?
Measles and mumps.
That is the correct answer. Christine, which character walks around in a cloud of dust in the comic strip Peanuts?
Linus.
Pig Pen is the correct answer. Scott, if you answer this question correctly, you have won £2,180. In which country was the Alan Parker film Midnight Express set?
America.
Turkey. Christine, you need to answer this question correctly to stay in the game. In the novel by Evelyn Waugh, what is the name of Sebastian Flight's family home?
I've really no idea.
Do you want to think about it?
I don't know the answer. No.
The answer is Brideshead. That means, Scott, you are today's strongest link and you go away with £2,180. Christine, you leave with nothing. Join us next time for The Weakest Link. Goodbye.
It's not nice to lose, and it's almost worse to get so near the money than to be knocked out in an earlier round.
When I said I won, I went, yes, but I really want to go, yes, because that's how I felt. It was super.
If you'd like to play The Weakest Link, write to FreePost The Weakest Link or email theweakestlink@bbc.co.uk or call 09001 020 022.